different. This is their first performance, it's their first time on stage, and it's actually their first time playing together because this is 2 classes. And what we're going to show you today is kind of where we started and where we are at now, so that when we come together for the winter concert in December, you will see kind of like what we've done to get there. So the very, very first thing we're going to do for you, or to you, I'm so sorry, is we're going to show you what it sounds like when we try our mouthpieces. And that's the first thing they did. They came in, and the very first day, they got to try all the different mouthpieces and see which one they were good at and which one they wanted to play. So, with my condolences, here's our mouthpieces. Okay, mouthpieces, guys. So stop, back step, hold them. 1, 2, and lift down. So that's the first thing we do to make a sound. And that lasts 3 or 4 weeks where we practice really making sure that we are doing the right things with our embouchure. That's how our mouth forms. And percussion, what they're doing on that is they're rolling on some different notes and doing some different rhythms. And then the next thing that we do is we work on our rhythm all as a class. So we not only have to make sure we're pushing the right fingers down, we have to make sure that we are doing the correct rhythms as they are written. So the next thing we are going to do is clap and count for you some different rhythms out of our book. So once we have all of that down, we would actually move into the book, but we're going to show you something we've been working on to warm up before we do that. So they recently got a warm-up packet that has their notes in it, and they play some different things to build their muscle memory with playing their instrument. Trombones, kind of figure out where the slide positions are. Percussion is kind of a challenge for them because they're on different instruments. So even though all of the keyboard instruments are set up the same way, some of them have bigger keys, some of them have smaller keys, so they kind of have to get the feel for what all of those are like. So the next thing we're going to do is show you what we do to warm up each day. Flint, if you need to offset your chair, you can. Maybe you need to scoot. Alright, start and release. 1, get off, 2, back up. 1, 2, ready, go. So that warm-up is a combination of the first 5 notes that they learned. And the way that they learned those notes, they kind of start to figure out what fingers need to go down. And they know like what the letter name is of the note that they play. But we're not quite to the point where we can play stuff without it being written in the book. So the first several out of the book have the letter names written in, so that all they have to know is, oh, it's a C, trumpet, that's open. Or, oh, clarinet, that's a C, that's thumb 1, 2, 3. So that's the next step of this. We know the basic rhythms, we know whole notes, we know the 5 notes that we're starting with, and then we move on from there, but we're not there yet. So this is number 1 out of the book, the very first thing that they had to look at and play. Because they know, oh, it's 4 counts, and I play the same note, and I can focus on like how to make a sound, and oh, I can count to 4. I can do those 2 things. So then we get to number 6 in the book, and then they have different rhythms, and then they have to combine some different notes that they're playing together. So number 6 is a combination of changing notes and a couple of different rhythms. So it's kind of the next step in the process. Repeat one time. 1, 2, step down. 1, 2, ready, go. So we're not to earth-shattering music yet, but it's definitely starting to be a song. Those of you who have been along this journey with us, I appreciate your patience as we went through the mouthpiece phase. I appreciate your patience and your understanding as we went through the la phase. And hopefully we are working toward things that you will enjoy hearing them practice more, as much as I'm sure you enjoyed the mouthpieces, because that's always fun. So the next one is number 10, and we're getting into different signs in the music. So this one has repeat signs in it. It has half notes and quarter notes, so we have more things put together. And it's the last one in the book that tells them the letter name. So the kids did really, really well up until this point, because it's like 3 things to think about at once. But we can still handle it, we're still getting it. And then we get it as muscle memory, and it doesn't take so much of our brain power. And we get to number 11, 12, 13, 14 in the book, and they have to look at the staff, and they have to be able to look at it and say, oh, it's first line, it's an E. And that can be really, really challenging for some of us. So these guys have worked really, really hard to make sure that they know the letter names, and they are like the masters of it now. So This next one is still basic quarter notes, the 5 notes we've been doing, but they are without training wheels because they have to know all the letter names on their own. So we're going to do 3 or 4 more out of the book for you. The next one is hot cross buns, which is half notes now instead and quarter notes. It is a little bit challenging to play songs that you think you know because they write it out and it may not sound the exact way you expect it to. So this is an example of that one. The next one is number 18, and this one is, if you were to ask the kids on stage what number they were probably the most challenged by, it would probably be this one. And the reason that is, it's still the same 5 notes, but we've added breath marks, we still have the repeat sign, we have quarter notes, we have half notes, we have rest symbols, and all of that they have to think about at the same time as, oh, how am I supposed to hold my instrument? How do I make a good sound? How do I count this? So it is kind of like the, hey, welcome, here we are. This is number 18. Our last 2 exercises we are going to play for you are the introduction into playing in an ensemble. So up until this point, you have heard us play all things in unison. We all play the same part, we all play it at the same time. We know whether or not we're right or not. The next one we're going to do is a duet. So there are 2 parts, and I let most of them pick whether they wanted to do the top line or the bottom line, and they happen at the same time. The rhythms are different, the notes are different, all of that. And then the last one we're going to play for you is by section. So they have to be able to count their rests and know when to come in and to know, hey, that's the percussion playing there. Now I come in. Now it's the brass. And that's really the next step into what they're going to get after fall break, which is their winter concert music, where they get an actual piece of music and they say, this is my part, but this is how it fits with everybody else, which is a really challenging thing to do. So we are going to play you number 22 and number 24. 22 first. All right, let's check. Who's A? Okay, this B. Couple more beats. There you go. it can be a really challenging thing to do. It can be a really fun thing to do. But you really have to think about what you're doing a lot of the time, and you have to really, really be confident and independent. And a lot of these guys are really good helpers if somebody's confused on something. There are a lot of them. So there are a lot of people who are like, I can help them with that. I understand this. I can help explain that. And these guys are really, really great about all of that. So that is not because of me, that's because what you all have done with them, and I really, really appreciate that you encourage them to join band or let them join band, and that you got them the things they needed, and that you got them here tonight. We are thankful that we have such a supportive administrative team here who helps make the schedule work so these guys can do band, and it's just a really, really fun thing to do. So let's give these guys one more round of applause. Put up their stuff, and then we will send them out to you in the cafeteria. If you want pictures or anything, you can Shanghai them for that. Thank you very much.